lovely people, Mina here. Happy March. We're well into the way of March, and normally I keep seeing people posting videos of like getting ready for spring. This week where I live, it got slammed with snow and ice and freezing cold, like so cold. So I'm not feeling very springy, which made me decide to do a March to be read list and mix it with my winter TBR that I'm still chipping away at. My winter TBR I mainly got through because it was a lot of Christmas themed books, which I read in like December, obviously, in like January. But I have a few left that I still want to read. And spring I think isn't until like next week technically, or like end of March. So I'm going to hold off on a spring TBR and just do March this week and slash what I still need to read off of my winter one. I have quite a few books still, but we'll see what I can get through. I have 10 books because I couldn't decide. I went through my whole bookshelf and I couldn't decide. There were so many that I had wanted to read and that I was like, oh, I really, really, really want to read this and I need to get to this. And then I would see another one and I was like, oh, I really, really, really want to read this and I need to get to this. So I couldn't decide on what I wanted to read, which led me to narrowing it down to 10 books. And because it's Women's History Month in March, I wanted to focus mainly on female authors. So I have 99%, I would say, female authors, and then the few on my winter TBR are not, but it's like a good chunk female authors. So, no more rambling. I'm going to get into what I want to read this month. All my books are down here. Here's a chunk of them. Okay, so first I have my winter TBR slash what I'm currently reading. So my winter TBR are these ones, and I'm currently reading this. I don't remember if I had this on my winter TBR list, but I'm still currently reading Amanda Gorman's Call Us What We Carry, which is her book of poetry about pandemic era times. I'm almost through this, but I need to finish it, so I'm going to put this in my March TBR. It's really good so far. Her writing is beautiful. It makes me sad because I'm like thrown back into 2020 and yeah. This is my winter TBR that I want to get to. This is Sally Rooney's Beautiful World, Where Are You? I have not read a Sally Rooney book before and I feel like that's a crime. Everyone I see is reading Sally Rooney and I have this one and I have Normal People, but I lent Normal People to my sister so I don't have that currently. But I have Beautiful World, Where Are You? And I've had this for a minute. I just haven't read it yet. People say it's can be hard to read because of like the quotation marks. She doesn't use quotation marks. And I've heard like a few mixed reviews, but I know a lot of people really love her. So I feel like I need to read this. It's in my winter to be read list, so we're gonna get to that one. Next I have Mouse, which is about the Holocaust and a son talking to his dad about the Holocaust, and it's a graphic novel. And I've wanted to read this for a while. I love a graphic novel. I feel like this is going to be very sad and very hard, but also a good one to be reading. So that's Mouse. Also on the banned book list. So I am all for reading a banned book because you should be reading more of them. The next one I have is I Think It's Always Forever, which is by Timothy Goodman, who is one of my like all-time favorite artists. He wrote a book. He lives in New York and he does like street art. He's super cool. And he signed this and I had my sister pick it up for me in New York. But look at his cute little signature. Anyways, this has been on my winter TBR, so I want to get to that. And it's like, because he's an artist, it's like a book but like also art. It's cool. I love his. I have some of his art. I love his stuff. So that's that one. And then I have just my regular March to be read list. And that's here. The first one I have is Bell Hooks' All About Love. I again, I've wanted to read Bell Hooks for so long, and I just haven't gotten around to it. And I don't own any books by Bell Hooks. That rhymes. So I am borrowing from my sister, and she gave me All About Love, which I've started. It's really good so far. But I also have a few others that I've like wanted to read that are by her, and a few more like academic-esque ones about like writing. So I'm excited. I know everyone reads this in like February because love February, whatever, but I'm reading that now, and it's good so far. The next one I have is The 100 Years' War on Palestine, which I've wanted to read for a while. And again, I think this is another really important read currently with the times that we're in. And this one I got on Book Outlet, and both of my sisters are like, we want to read that. So this one I have to get through and read so I can pass it along to them eventually. But that's this one. I'm still going. The next one I have is A Free Wheel in Time, which is the memoir of Greenwich Village in the 60s by Suze Rodotolo. So this is about Bob Dylan and Suze, and I'm assuming her life in Greenwich Village. So that's this one. I wanted to read this again. I got this when I was in New York, and I love Bob Dylan. I loved A Complete Unknown. It should have won the Oscar. Yeah, I loved A Complete Unknown. I love, love, love Bob Dylan, and so I'm excited to read this. And I was immediately like, I need to read this month. So there's that one. And then the last two I have is Legendborn, which this is like high on my to be read list because everyone has been raving about it, and so I'm super excited. This is again borrowed from like a good chunk of these. I realized I borrowed this from my sister, but that's the best thing about books is you can share them. This one is borrowed, and I've wanted to read this for so long because everyone has been talking about it, and I'm like, I don't really love fantasy, and they're like, but have you read Legendborn? Or like, and I'm like, have you read Legendborn? You need to read Legendborn. So I'm excited about this. The third one just came out, so I have to read the first two so I can read the third. That's this one. And I've seen so many people who are like hyping up the third one, and they're so excited. So I'm excited to read this. There's that one. And then the last one I have is The 7-Year Slip, which is Ashley E. Poston. And I have read every other Ashley Poston book out there so far. And she's coming out with a new one like this summer, I think. But I haven't read The 7-Year Slip. And I have seen mixed reviews. But I love Ashley Poston's books just because they're like really light and not super like a heavy read. So I'm hoping that this is the same vibe. I just kind of want like an easy rom-com read. Just like a lighter read. So that's this one. Yeah, something I don't really have to think much about. I also had A Winter in New York by Josie Silver as like an option, and I was like, I can't have 11. I will not get to it. I need to just... So I went for A 7-Year Slip because I wanted to read this for a while. Oh my god, I forgot about this one. Wait, I'm stacking all these books up. Just Kids by Patti Smith. This is one that my older sister was like, we were in New York traveling around, and my older sister was like, if you want a book about like New York and you want like a New York book, get this. And so I bought this, and it has, fun fact about me, this is my favorite type of book to read that has like the raised edges on the pages. It's so satisfying to read. I do not know why, but it is my favorite type of book to read. So I was like reading it this month. So that is my, did I say 10 books? Something like that. This is the last book that I have. So this is my stack. I'm looking at this now, I'm like, this is kind of insane. But I'm also going on a road trip this week, just for like a long weekend. And so I'm going to be in a car for like an extended amount of time, and that gives me ample amount of time to do reading. So, this is what I'm justifying my books. Also, I couldn't narrow it down. I didn't know what to do, so here we are. Especially because Legend Porn is so thick that I'm like, this is very ambitious. We'll see. If by the end of March, I know some people read like 70 books in a month, which like great for them, but that's crazy. I can't do that. Or like 20, and I'm like, ooh. So we'll see. This seems very ambitious for me. But these are ones that I've like really, really, really wanted to read. So hopefully I get around to all of them. Yeah. It's been, again, snowy, cold. It's the perfect weather for reading. So that is it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you all, and I will see you next Friday with a brand new video. Bye!